Good morning to everyone building their essay paper one topic at a time. I am glad you are here for episode 22 of the Essay Desk. Today we are decoding a fresh aphorism about growth, gender, and the last person, one that hides an entire socio-economic essay inside a single image of an unread ledger. This theme family has appeared before in the exam, and every signal for 2026 points to its return. So give this one your full attention. Here is today's topic. The ledger of growth still writes some names in invisible ink. Notice it never mentions women, or GDP, or unpaid work directly. It is bare, metaphorical, and it expects you to decode it before you argue it. This family, society, justice, gender, and the last person, has surfaced in recent papers, and with gender and justice widely expected to return, it deserves a place in your practice list. Start by decoding the image, not the topic in general. A ledger is simply what a nation has decided is worth counting. Invisible ink is labor that is real, that sustains the household and the market, but is never entered into that count. The tension you must hold through the whole essay is this. A country can genuinely grow in its official numbers while quietly failing to see the people whose work is holding that growth up from underneath. Once the tension is clear, fix a single thesis and do not let go of it for the next 1,000 words. Something like this. Growth honestly measured must count the labor it currently reads in invisible ink. And until that labor is recognized and supported, the promise of economic justice stays unfulfilled for the very people holding the economy up. Notice this thesis is not a general essay on women's issues. It is a specific claim about measurement, justice, and policy. And every paragraph you write from here on should be arguing exactly that claim. A topic like this can pull in 6 to 9 dimensions, but resist the urge to list all of them. Move from the economic blind spot in how growth is measured to the social reality of who actually does the uncounted work, to the constitutional promise that is quietly broken by that blindness, to what the government has already attempted through its own schemes. Each dimension should answer a question the previous one raises. So the essay reads as one argument advancing, not 4 separate essays stapled together. 2 more dimensions lift this from competent to exceptional. A brief historical dimension explains why gross domestic product was built around factory and market output in the first place. So your reader sees the blind spot is inherited, not accidental. Then bring in how other countries are experimenting with satellite accounts for unpaid work, before you turn, honestly, to the strongest objection. That pricing care work risks turning family relationships into transactions. Grant that objection fully before you resolve it. Anchors are what separate a vivid essay from a vague one. So choose sourced, India-weighted ones and always interpret them. The National Statistical Office's Time Use Survey for 2024 found that women spend close to 5 hours a day on unpaid domestic work, against roughly 90 minutes for men, a gap that has barely narrowed in 5 years. State that figure, then immediately tell the examiner what it proves about the ledger. Pair it with the eShram portal crossing 31 crore registrations, with women now over 54% of those registered, which shows the state beginning to see workers it once could not, even while its national accounts still cannot. The introduction and the conclusion are where most scripts are won or lost, so give them your sharpest craft. Open on a scene, not a definition. A woman's morning of unpaid labor, followed immediately by the plain fact that the official ledger records none of it. That paradox does in 3 lines what a definition never can. Close by returning to the ledger and the ink you opened with, but move it forward. State plainly what the Republic must now choose to count and why. A conclusion that resolves the tension lingers with the reader far longer than one that merely repeats the essay's points. Here is a line you can study and adapt in your own words. By the account books of the Republic, a woman who feeds her household before sunrise is recorded for those hours as not working at all. Notice what it does. It is concrete. It is a paradox. And it sets up the thesis without ever stating the thesis outright. Build your own version of this move for whichever topic you draw on exam day. Let us recap the approach before you go and practice it yourself. Decode the topic and name its tension in 1 line. Fix a single thesis and never let the essay wander from it. Build dimensions that talk to each other, not a list that simply sits side by side. Anchor every claim with sourced, interpreted evidence, and always close by resolving the tension rather than restating your paragraphs. That is today's masterclass. I know the syllabus feels endless some mornings, and the essay paper can feel like the hardest one to prepare for. But every topic you decode properly, like this one, is the rank quietly protected. If you would like the complete brief, 2 full model essays with the examiner's own margin notes, drop your email in the comments or write to team@upscdesk.com. Keep writing, keep revising.